What's up, my friends? It's Toadman once again. Today, I'm talking about what was the height of MetaZoo, and will we ever see that again? First and foremost, I have to talk about my boy, Cryptid Keeper, disappeared, shut down his whole YouTube. It's gone. Nobody knows where he's at. Left without a trace. Gonna miss you, man. I hope everything's all right with you. Please reach out. I mean, you're probably not even gonna see this. Huge loss to the community, and I hope that everything's fine. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions or assumptions. Just hope that you're good because you're a one of a kind dude. Today I want to talk to you about what was the peak of MetaZoo. I wasn't there from the very beginning. I was there shortly after, so a lot of this stuff is going to be what I can think or what I can remember. I just know that in the beginning, they had the Kickstarter, more than blew it out the water with the Kickstarter. From the Kickstarter, boxes went through the roof, thousands of dollars. And I think by the end of that first year, it was hot because you got NFTs were either out or about to be out. You had the Patreon, where you had the Kickstarter that did really well. You had the first CN1 that came out that did really well, and the boxes were going really high on that as well. Packs were going really expensive. Kickstarter packs, I remember, were going like for hundreds of dollars. So monetary wise, that might have been the peak as far as what they can make for money wise, what people on the secondary market were doing. People were running on different platforms making money. For me though, the peak was when it was at the height of its enjoyment, I guess, where the community was the best. I think that was about CN2 for me. Might have been a little later, but it was right up until Wilderness. Once Wilderness hit, and everybody could get a box, and they did a partnership with Whatnot, where you could just order as many boxes as you want. People were getting so many boxes, and then being stuck with them because people were liquidating. They were sitting on them for a long time. I remember I had just gotten into Whatnot for comic sales, and that came up as an opportunity, and I bought one case. That was the smallest amount, and I always try to undershoot what my expectations are for selling so that I don't get stuck with product. And I had to run like 2, 3 times a week, maybe more, to try to sell those boxes. And I mean, I sold them. I sold out of them. I didn't have any kind of loss on them. I did rip like a box for myself, but that was really hard to sell. That was really really hard to sell, and that was a rough time. That was when it started to dip, and then the second Kickstarter came out, and that really was a jump in the shark moment for me. Prior to that, though, CN2 was out. You had the first set. You had CN1. You had CN2, and you had Nightfall, and you had some mini sets that were out. That was a really cool time for the community. If you needed a car, people were just like, psh. I remember there was guys like Gary or Very. His name was Very DX, I think, and he would just do streams all day long. I don't know. I think he did like stock, sold stock during the day, stock trader. That he just run all day in the morning, and he just do giveaways nonstop, and you just give you stuff and give cards and sell expensive packs for really cheap, and just did not care. Just the free money that was raining in from COVID checks and from all different things going on in the world was that peak when with the sets that were out, and just people just sharing stuff with you. Oh, you need that card? Here, have it. It was a good time, but it was also never going to be duplicated again, right? There's no way that we're going to do that. We're all sitting at home. We all have our needs met, or the people who are on Whatnot and had the extra money because they weren't going out, or they had money because of the free checks that the government was giving us. It was a moment that's probably never going to happen. It should probably never happen again. So that to me was the peak though, because it was just a community. We're just happy to collect the cards. We all just wanted to get a full set. We're happy to throw money at things. We had the money to throw at things. We didn't have as many responsibilities as we do now because life has returned to normal. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I think that perpetuated the momentum that MetaZoo had at the time. I don't think it could be duplicated. I don't think we'll ever see that peak again. I mean, that first year of MetaZoo was it like $50 million, something ridiculous, like tens of millions of dollars that they earned that first year. I don't think we ever see that again. And it's not because of lack of effort or lack of creativity or the art set or the playability of the card game or anything like that. It's just how the world was at that time. It was just an opportunity. Same thing I talk about when I say there'll never be another Pokemon again, because Pokemon came out at a certain time where wasn't internet wasn't was just coming into fruition. You didn't have a million different shows out there. You didn't have Netflix. You didn't have streaming. You didn't have that. Whatever was on TV is the only thing that you could watch. There was no DVRs. There's nothing. You just straight up watch TV. And when that Pokemon commercial came on, and it was saying like whatever 6:30 in the morning that it was going to be played on Monday, the first day of school, you better believe I had my alarm set for 5:45, and I was watching that. And that became a global phenomenon based upon what happened at that time frame with those elements. It can't be duplicated again, because that is something that is generational. That was once in a lifetime opportunity that they took advantage of, and happenings, and the planets aligned, and just that's something that can't be bottled up. So Meta will never be Pokemon. Meta 2 will never be Meta 1, but it could be something different. It can survive in its own path, in its own lane, and do something different. It's going to have to in order to stand out with everything else in the world. Because we have everything's a competition with everything, right? You just everything that comes out tries to occupy that same amount of time that you have to dedicate for those hobbies. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, Sean, what do you think? What was the peak of MetaZoo? Was it shortly after the Kickstarter where those boxes were going for tens of thousands of dollars? Or was it when everyone had the sets, when everyone was able to get it, and people were kind of like just throwing out cards just because it was free money? Was it a different time? Was it maybe later on when the towers had started, when Water Tower had started, and people were really traveling to go to these middle of nowhere places because they were authentic to the cryptids, but not really making sense monetarily wise, for profit, or for traveling for anybody who needed to go to play? Or was it something else? Was it New York City Comic Con? Was it the Collecticons? Was it when they had the Arby's commercial? Was it that second, not commercial, but the ad? Or was it the second Kickstarter? Was that a highlight for you when they were like, oh, well, now there's poker packs? Because yeah, when it's a card it's you can play poker with, that makes, I don't know, that's such a like a dumb moment for me. But what was it for you? What was the peak of MetaZoo? And do you think we'll ever reach those heights again? You tell me, and I'll tell you to do three things for me, which is be cool, do good, and be nice to each other. Cryptid Keeper, hope you're doing well, bro. Reach out if you need anything, man. For real.